Hi guys, so this is page 2 or section 2 of the Learn to Colour water book that we're doing. And we're actually doing this mountain today. I'm a little nervous about that because there's some techniques in there I don't quite understand. But we've got some colour mixing to do first. Now, I still don't know what colours are what here. So we're going to wing it. But I'm supposed to be using Payne's Grey, Phthalo Blue, Permanent Yellow Deep, Parisian Blue, quinacridone magenta, sap green and vermilion, and then mixing them in certain ones. So we're just going to do that in hopefully the right way. So we've got to mix 3 colours up, yellowy orange, a purple mountain and a cool teal. So I'm just going to dump, you know what, I don't know if we're supposed to, but I'm just going to spray a bunch of water in here. I think this will be quicker. You only need 3, but we'll do 4 just to be safe. And if I need a bit more, what do we reckon? I don't know. Right. So for the yellow one, we're supposed to mix the permanent deep, yellow deep, and the vermilion, so the yellow and the orange together. So I'm figuring just going with this yellow here. I don't really know what a permanent yellow deep's supposed to be, but the picture looks quite bright in the yellow. So we're going to go with bright, because it is going to be the lighter colour that signifies sun and light, I think. So we're just going to pile a bunch on. I'm hoping to make up enough this time that I don't have to remix the colour, because obviously last time I didn't quite get enough mixed up. I reckon that's enough of the yellow, and then we'll do the same amount with the orange. It's 50-50 on this one. Now the orange looks closer to red orange, so I'm thinking I might go with this one. I don't know how well you can see my colours. You couldn't see the yellow, could you? Sorry about that. But let me just test that colour. Yeah, I think that looks similar. So let's try mixing this one. I'm going to clean my brush in between because I don't want to get the yellow on it. Probably should have made up an orange separately and mixed it in, shouldn't I? Too late now. Don't know how much yellow I put into versus the orange. This is going well already, isn't it? But again, this is me learning. This is how I'm going to learn. Well, there's certainly got plenty in there anyway. So, hopefully... Now, she says 60% saturation. I don't quite know how I tell the saturation part of it yet. Might have to watch some videos on that. Sometimes she has a QR code that you can scan to watch a video. Maybe there was one further in the book earlier that had a code for learning about saturation. I don't know. But we'll go with that for now. Certainly looks like she starts with the yellow more at the beginning, but it might be that we put yellow and then add that colour in after. I don't know. Let's mix the colours and see how we go from there, shall we? So, magenta and the Parisian blue. So, also we went with this one for our magenta last time, so let's go with this one again. So again, I'm just going to make a load up so that we don't run out. But maybe not quite as much as I made the yellow orange, because that's quite full. Right. So we have to mix that with a Parisian blue, which looks like quite a dark blue. I don't know. Do you reckon one of these? I think that's our darkest blue, which I used. What did that was a phthalo blue. So I used that as in place of phthalo blue last time, I think, didn't I? So maybe I should try a different one. Let's see what colour this one comes out in a minute. It's quite a dark blue. Should we try that one? Yeah, and this is supposed to be 75% saturation, so I'm guessing this is supposed to have quite a lot of water in it versus colour. So maybe I just worry about adding extra water, and I do have one lot of water for cleaning my brush and one lot of water for adding more water in here, so that I have a clean water when I add it, which is something that she recommended, so that's what I've been doing. Right, so we'll try that. And then the cool teal is sap green and phthalo blue. So what do we reckon sap green should be? It looks quite lime-like. Should we try this one? Do you think that one will work for sap green? What do you reckon? I'm going by the pictures that they got. I think it'll work. Let's try that. And again, this is supposed to be 75% saturation. But this one is 25% of the sap green and 75% phthalo blue. So maybe I stop the green there then. The other ones were 50-50, but this one's a bit different. So move on to, this is the one I used for phthalo blue last time, I think. So it should have more blue than green. Not liking what colour this is coming up, but maybe it'll look better when it's painted. But once I get cooking, I wouldn't call this teal right now. Maybe I used the wrong green. Yeah. I don't know. Do you think I should? I mean, going by the pictures, I think it'd do. Okay, so we've pre-mixed them, and this is a technique teaching us about warm versus cool colours on the colour wheel. That's what this is for. So I'm winging it. So it says step 1, start by mixing the custom colours, which I did. Up on the upper right hand side, so up here, been painting with the lightest and brightest of the warm colours, so just the yellow, I guess. Yeah, so start with the permanent yellow and the custom yellowy orange. switch between refilling your brush with water and painting in the crocodile magenta or even the custom purple. So a bit of that as well. So a bit of the pink that we used and a bit of the custom purple mixed in as well. Okay, I'm genuinely a little confused, but we'll start and we'll see how it goes, innit? I don't know if I'm supposed to pre-water my paper. It doesn't say so, so I guess I don't. Yeah, I'm going to pull my sleeve up. I'm just going to spray that because it's getting a little dry. Okay. So it's kind of supposed to be blendy between the two. Put a bit more yellow in there. Did I make that muddy then? She's just kind of blending and dabbing it all on. So that's what we're going to go with from looking at the image. And then they had a bit of this purple. Let's just do a touch of that. No, that made it brown. Let's just go straight with the pink. Did I mess it up then? Let's add in the pink. But it's a learning curve. That's the important thing. We're just learning how we go, aren't we? I may be muddying this, but we want to get darker as we go down lower because the light's at the top. So just keep mixing it in, maybe a little more water. Get some harsh lines here, hopefully that'll fade away. I want to try to make that yellow up there just a little brighter. That is way too much water. What do you think? Possibly a little too pink, but not much I can do about it now. Maybe I can paint over with a bit more yellow once it's dried. Genuinely don't know. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. I've also mixed up my clean water and my dirty water. That was clever of me. Okay, so we're supposed to miss these bits because that's got to dry and do this bit next where we work with the darker colours. So we're mixing these two in with it, but possibly getting a little bit lighter in some top bits. So maybe we start with the pure blue and let that mix in. And then move in to mix the darker blue in with it, with the purple. Bit of that teal, which is definitely not teal. Let's try adding just a bit of this green in. See if we can make it look tealer. It's not teal, is it? Did I just use the wrong type of green? I don't know. What do you guys reckon? I'm going to try a different green a minute. Let's mix a bit of that green in. I think that might give it a better teal. Not going to be brilliant, but it might be a little better. That's a little better, I think, isn't it? So if you can hear noise, Duncan's just got back. But as I need this to blend, I can't just stop. I do need that to blend a little better, but she makes the blending look much better than what I'm doing. Changing the colours through. I don't know how she doesn't make it muddy. Thinking I went in too light up here with that blue. I'm gonna darken it down a little with this purple that we made. What are we thinking? I'm not liking it, but she just mixes all the colours and differently on there to catch the light. She doesn't fade from one to the other. She is just kind of mixing them all together. Right, I need to take a break to let these dry before we can do the other bits anyway. And then we can see how that's looking. So I'll come back to that. But yeah, I'm not sure, but we will see. We will stick with it. It might get better. That's the whole point. Oops, sorry if you heard me knock on my bin then. That's the whole point of all of this, is to learn as we go. So I'll be back once it's dry. For you, that's just a few seconds. Right guys, it's all dried. At least mostly dry. So we should be able to start up here. Which she's showing using similar to the dark colours up here, but the brighter ones, so like the pure colour, which was this blue, wasn't it? And she even uses a bit of the magenta on there as well. So I think I could have spraying these, they've got a little dry. So we will try and see. This was the pink magenta we were using, wasn't it? And some of this in here, mixed in with some of this in here. I'm just kind of winging it at this point, to be fair. Just kind of doing some of the lighter colour, some of the dark. It needs to be lighter than down there because this is closer to the sun, so it's going to have lighter parts, but it's also the shade side, so it still needs to be the cooler colours rather than the warm colours. May use a little too much. No, that one won it. A little bit. And that green in. Try to tie it in a little better. Try to give that teal colour that I wasn't doing very well of down here. So, excuse me. We can see how it goes though. I don't know. What do we reckon? Okay. Which segment does she reckon next? I'm going to assume like maybe one of these. So we go on to another page. I can turn the page. Yeah, when I said I didn't know what I was doing, I wasn't kidding. kind of working out as we go. Yeah, so she's done this one next. In fact, no, I think she's actually done this one next, and then that one. That one's already done by the time we get to the next pictures. So I guess we'll do that more. She's done more yellow than anything else. So let's mix some of the yellow in here and make this brighter. That is no good. I had green dots in there that I didn't notice. Don't know how I got green dots in there, but I think I might need some fresh water because I've got them dirty. I'm gonna go get some clean water. I'll be back in a second. Alright guys, we got some fresh water. Should we try that again? So take some of the yellow. And just nick a smidge of that orange. Just to tone it down slightly. And then more of the orange. And there's a little bit of the magenta in this too. Wow, that was a lot of the magenta. Tone that down a little. That is way too much water. Hold on. Try my brush and absorb that out. At least I've learnt that. Just dry the brush a bit and absorb it back out. Just re-add in some pure yellow. Might have to let it dry to put some on. Ugh, see, too much. Too much. Take that off. Try that again, shall we? This is all about learning though, so I'm not going to hide my mistakes. The whole point is that I'm learning and I show you what I do so you can learn and hopefully avoid my mistakes as you learn, you know? Right. I think that needs a better blend out. Just take some of that out so I can pull some of that yellow down to blend in. That looks a bit better, doesn't it? Should be using kitchen roll, not tissue, but I've only got tissue next to me. Duncan commandeered the kitchen roll for doing sanding work with his woodwork. Right, then she's done this side, which she's used a lot more of the pink for. Probably should be changing my brush. It's probably part of my problem is I'm using the same brush without really changing any of it. Yeah, so she seems to have done quite pink down this whole section. Excuse me. Put my sleeve up because I'm going to put it in my paint again, otherwise I'm a little worried it might blend in there because I haven't thing worry about doing it matter too much. Okay, and then she started adding the orange in there as well. And then some of that yellow. So I'm wondering if I didn't tape my wallpaper down enough because it is buckling a little, which I don't think it's supposed to do, is it? So it could be that I haven't taped my paper down enough either, tight enough. But, or am I using too much water? I don't know. Certainly don't feel like there's enough pink. She's got stronger pink. It's much stronger in hers than in mine, so I'm just gonna add some more pink. It's probably a mistake, but just trying to do similar to what she does, you know. I'm going to put a tiny bit of that purple down here just to darken it up. Not much, but just should be a little darker there, you know. I think really it should be a little darker here too. I know that's working on to dry, so it won't blend, but right now I don't care. The whole point is just learning, and so it doesn't matter if it's not perfect, you know. And I just did it again, put my dirty brush into my clean water first. I assume I'll get the hang of not doing that incorrectly eventually. Okay, so then she's worked on this bit up here. I don't know if she's been letting it... Yeah, so I probably should let it dry a little because it is a little wet there. But I suppose if I paint here, I mean, it's still a little wet there, but this is pretty dry, so I could probably start here and along here. By the time I get to those bits, it might not be too bad. I don't know. Shall we try? What's the worst going to happen? It blurs into a brown mess? Well, it's already a mess, isn't it? So, it don't matter, does it? So, one is I want to make sure these are clearly separate colours. She's definitely used more blue to start with. Let's make it blue. So still using this purple colour, but add some extra blue in. Just to give it a little more lighter. And then add some of this teal in, which I might add a little more of that green into. Do that to it. So it's a bit lighter with it. What do we reckon? I don't know. It's a mess, isn't it? But it's learning. It's fun. That's all that matters. Just gotta be careful because that's not dry. Don't do a me. Wait for it to dry. This is not the proper way to do it, but I'm impatient. I don't know how much longer I'll have the house without the boys coming in, talking, and in and out. Don't know, because the middle one comes and goes at all hours, and the youngest should be finishing work soon. Right, we've got to be careful here because I did not let that dry at all. I'm going to use a completely dry brush a minute, try to soak that up along the edge. Prevent that doing that. And just gently dab a little bit of colour back. Hopefully that's alright. We will see. Dab a tiny bit of that pink yellow just in here as well. Yeah, my paper is definitely buckling, which is not going to be helping. But never mind. So, I think I want to try to separate that colour off a bit more so it's easier to see. I think I'm going to do like I did there with that lighter blue. Kind of just along the edge, trying to make sure it's more visible that there's an edge there. That makes sense. This is such a different technique to my acrylics and oils because it spreads further and blends differently. And it's just such a learning curve for me. So just trying to make sure that edge isn't too harsh. I think we need to potentially just put a little more of the lighter colour here as well, because it is kind of blending in a little, isn't it? Just want to kind of separate it off a little more, just to make sure all three parts look separated as they should be, you know? It looks a little better, doesn't it? Not great. I'm under no delusion this is high art, okay? So don't worry about telling me it's really awful. I already know it's awful. What I want is constructive feedback on how I can make it better and what I'm doing wrong. So please feel free to give me that. So again here, she's gone a little lighter with the green here, so I think I'm gonna use that other green. I definitely should have used the other green, not that lighter lime green I used. Just gonna tie it in with that little bit of the teal, but make it quite green there. Intentionally going over a little because I don't want a straight edge. I painted it a little too straight there. And then move back into these blues. Again, got to be careful here because it's not quite dry. Don't do me, dry your work. How's that looking? What do we think? Now she hasn't done anything up here for the sky thing. The point is the mountain, so we're just going to leave it before I ruin it anymore. I definitely overkilled in how much paint to make this time, but better to have too much than too little, I think. I think I'm going to leave it there. We're going to let it dry and we'll come back after it's dry and a little flatter to see how the colours have settled down and how it works. So for you that'll just be a few seconds, but for me that's probably going to be half hour or so. But it is drying, and next time I'll find out my heat gun so that we can dry it faster. But what do you think so far? Joy's still out for me. I'm not liking this little path here, but that's the way she's drawn it. So that's the way we're going. But we will see. It's still quite wet here. So I'll be back in a second with it dried and we can make a judgment and see what we think. Okay? Bye. Hi guys. So it's all finished drying. So I'm gonna leave this video here, but I think it's dried out alright. I've definitely got to work out my blending. You know, practice makes progress. So I will see you all next month, and we will be doing honeycomb shape thing. So we'll see you all soon. You take care. Bye.